So in this video, we are going to be talking about AI and how you can utilize it in your business. But first, I think some general AI conversation is called for, and let's bring this right down to its very roots. So AI stands for artificial intelligence. It's exactly that. It's a really smart computer brain put together by really clever people. And that computer brain hasn't got any of the human flaws, I guess you'd say, whereby it's got a super sharp memory, as in it can't forget. It is able to learn and adapt in a really clever way. It's able to scour the internet, like its entirety, like that, to compile information super fast. And you can use it for all manner of things. So AI is basically the gold rush. I'm not saying the next gold rush because it's happening right now. And you'll notice in time that businesses that aren't utilizing AI in some form will fall behind those that are using it. Obviously, other major technological advances that have happened in the past however many years, it's amazing when you think about it. Like if you go back sort of like 10 years, you're having sort of like the first popular touchscreen iPhones coming out, and it wasn't that long before that we were still using keypad phones. I mean, I remember how popular Blackberries were. And it just continues to move at such a rapid pace. I mean, mobile phone wise, I don't know how much more we can really do with them. Especially if you look at the past few models of like all brands of phone, you find that there's not really a ton of advancement compared to sort of the progression of them between 2010 to 2020. If you look at that progress there, major changes with sort of like each generation. And if you sort of look at it now in the last 5 years, I wouldn't say that there's been anything that's super truly groundbreaking apart from the AI aspect. And that doesn't just apply to phones, that applies to obviously all devices. And as I say, it is the gold rush that's happening right now. Obviously, mobile phone advancements are amazing, but I would say the last proper gold rush on this kind of scale, I would have said, was the internet and properly utilizing it. And obviously businesses that weren't using the internet, weren't creating an online presence, would fall behind those that were, because obviously if you didn't have a website, if you didn't have an online presence, you are reducing the amount of people that know about you. In fact, you are relying on chance and people discovering you just by being out and about and coming across your store. Especially if you had like your very own that you didn't have a physical shop front for, something that you were potentially running from home and you were relying on sort of like word of mouth to get that across. Obviously it's not really a feasible thing anymore. You need to have a social media presence, you need to be on the internet. If you have a web store, even better, because obviously opening yourself up to an even wider audience, they can buy from you that way. So massive difference in businesses that really utilize the internet and social media and so forth, to those that aren't. Like massive difference between those two. And obviously AI is that next thing. And I don't know if it's sort of become a oh, that's nice, like it's just AI kind of deal, but it is literally everywhere. Like you think about it. So I think sort of like most things out there are utilizing AI in some form. So even if it's just as basic as I say basic, it's actually still really clever. Something as basic as an AI chatbot. I know that they are annoying, but the concept of them, and when they do work, it works really well. Compiling information for you, from you for the agent that's going to help you, is super useful, because then the agent's got that information to hand to reference and they can help you a lot better, a lot quicker. Sometimes you can actually have your problem resolved by an AI chatbot. They'll direct you to the right article or the right place, or it can do certain things for you to solve your problem. It's just amazing in itself. So AI chatbots are like one thing. Also having like your own personal AI, like you'll notice that pretty much every social media app has got something like that now. Snapchat, Skype, Instagram, Messenger, they've all got some form of AI that you can just talk to and ask it to do things. I think the best sort of like classic example of AI is things like Siri, or if you've got a Windows phone, I think it's Cortana. There's all of that kind of stuff. I mean, Alexas, I think that's like the classic example of AI, but that is AI. And now I think it's even more refined, and that's why you're seeing it in more places. Like, I think I've seen an advert for it recently. There's a Google phone, and you can just have it out there with you, and you can say, hey, I've got these ingredients. I'm not really sure if there's anything I can do with them or how I can put them together, but can you give me a recipe for them? And it will just do it like that. Like, that's amazing. Like, when you think about it, that is truly amazing. That it's able to give you a recipe that works for what could potentially be a bunch of random ingredients, and you don't know what to do with them, and it's gone ahead and given you a recipe, and that's your dinner sorted for the night. I mean, ChatGPT is one of my favorite examples of AI. It is so useful, and that's what I want to tell you a little bit about in this video. If you aren't using AI in some form, then, I would say that you are falling behind those that are using it. So using something like ChatGPT is really, really like handy. So you can ask it anything and it will do it. I mean, now you can even have it where you can say, hey, generate me a picture of a robot eating pizza, and it will do it. Just the power behind it. Like, for example, I wanted to know the sort of like best, like top most listened to tracks from the 80s, because obviously I know which ones are well known, but I don't know which ones are the more popular ones. So I was looking for a list like that, and I was able to generate that kind of list for multiple genres, which really helped me out the day that I needed to know that. If you want to know how much a singular crumpet weighs, then it will tell you. If you want to construct a professional sounding like email that you want to send, like, you just give it the concepts and it'll do it for you. If you want it to put together a message for you and you're not quite sure how to word it, but you still want it to sound like you can just say, hey, look, I want to keep it fairly casual and so forth, but I also want to get across XYZ points in a fluffy way still, and it will do that kind of thing for you. Like, the power behind these things is incredible. And as I say, like, if you're not utilizing it, then you will find that the gap between you and those that are just gets bigger and bigger over time. It's everywhere. Everywhere. It's truly incredible stuff. And if you're using Profit Protector Pro, did you know that you've actually been using AI for the past 5 years now? So Profit Protector Pro came out in 2020, and it was one of the first repricing tools to utilize AI in what it does. So if you use any of the algorithmic strategies, you are using AI to help you. And it might not have been like super clear before, because obviously they are just called algorithmic strategies, and until you actually read into the descriptions is then when obviously you'll understand that AI is behind it. So the AI that's incorporated into Profit Protector Pro is as old as obviously Profit Protector Pro itself. It came out with it, and it is so smart. Like, it will obviously assess so many things about a listing. It will obviously acknowledge your minimum and maximum prices, which is what keeps Profit Protector Pro from repricing outside of them, so it keeps you safe. It will look at as and when you've lost the buy box, it will look at why that happened and then try and avoid that next time and make minor adjustments to see what exactly works. It will assess your competition, their fulfillment methods, their prices, stock levels and so forth, like so many things about your competitors as well, in order to make the decisions it does. It will assess the buy box history, and the longer you keep that strategy on there, the more it will learn. So if it knows that it's able to, like, sales have been made at a much higher price than what you're at now, it will strive for that higher price. It will test the waters somewhat and see if it can coax Amazon into allowing that price to be moved up so much higher, due to it knowing that has been possible in recent times. It really does take a lot into account, and that is just the power of using it with Profit Protector Pro. That's how Profit Protector Pro is what it is. That's why it does amazing things like increases your buy box possession rates and actively works to bump your price up. And it's all down to utilizing AI. If you look at your Profit Protector Pro repricing history, you'll see in the little description bit that it will say, it wants to go below like your minimum, for example, and then it just sits at your minimum, obviously, because it's not going to go below your minimum because you set that parameter, but it's telling you that it wants to go below because that's where the buy box is. And obviously, in order for Profit Protect Pro to compete effectively, the buy box ideally needs to be somewhere in your min and max range. And obviously, if you can't adjust that, then it's a case of just really waiting for the price to be pushed up by others or Amazon, and then it can compete effectively again. Things like where it says, Profit Protect Pro is learning the listing. It is taking the time to properly assess the listing, your specific situation on it, and that's what helps it make the clever decisions it does in order to reprice in the best way possible. So if you are using more of the rule-based strategies, my advice to you would be to try some of the algorithmic strategies, and I promise you, you will not look back at all. If you make a custom strategy and you're wondering, does that, use AI? Yes, it 100% does. So how you build a custom strategy in Profit Protect Pro is completely airtight, and that in effect is an AI strategy because it will assess what scenario you're in on that listing and perform the action that you've set. If you've got it to hand over to an algorithmic strategy when you win the buy box, so when you win it, it might be set to hand it over to the balanced strategy. That is all AI in use, and that's what makes Profit Protect Pro amazing. Other repricing tools out there have literally just caught on to using AI, and they are taking baby steps still, whereas Profit Protect Pro has had it from day one. It's been used very, very successfully. That's what's helped everyone sell for higher pricing, where you hear the success stories that people have had with Profit Protect Pro and how much it's helped their business, how much extra they've been making. That is thanks to the AI that Profit Protect Pro has. And of course, we are always continuing to improve that. So I know that there is a bit of an area that most sellers want to avoid, selling for that sort of like £10 kind of area, where because of the what came in the wake of the Small and Light program, so just when you sell something that is around that kind of value, it can either go one of two ways. Like if you are in that £10 area, then if you need to either push that in order to pay less sort of like fees and make more money, and if you go somewhat below that, then that's the same kind of case. But if you are in that sort of like £10 area specifically and you sell at that point, you end up paying more fees, so therefore it's not really worth selling in that specific area on applicable items. And Profit Protect Pro has been instructed to avoid that kind of area, and it will always reprice one way or the other. Whichever way is going to make you more money, it will reprice that way, so it'll avoid that area for those sorts of items and reprice in a way that, as I say, makes you more money. So you are already utilizing AI in your business if you're using Profit Protect Pro. If you're watching this and you aren't using it, there is a free trial, so you can use this for yourself, and don't just take my word for it. Let it produce those kind of amazing results for you. And in other sort of like words and other advice, if you aren't using things like ChatGPT, then give it a go. Honestly, like whatever you want to know, super useful stuff. Obviously utilizing AI in other aspects on like other apps and so forth, like for example, if you use Skype for your work, for example, or like another platform, using the little AI thing in there can help you out with anything that you want to know, or just all manner of things. It is the next gold rush. I do believe that there is some advancement still to be made with AI. I don't think we're quite done with it yet. I think it's going to continue as it did with as the world did with phones in that period of 2010 to 2020. I think there's going to be a lot more advancements. I think businesses are going to try and incorporate it in even more ways. So don't fall behind. That's part of business. You got to adapt. You got to ride the wave, and you got to really utilize what is around you, and AI is that next big thing. So yeah, hopefully this video helped. Thank you for watching.